This eclipse in Pisces asks you the burning question: what invisible desire am I ready to make visible? To help you answer this, I will guide you through the astrological threads of what you might expect at this time and how to weave them together, linking this lunar eclipse with both previous and future events in your life through Saros series and moon families. This is Celestial Astrology, and I'm your host, Sonia. And if you find this helpful, you might be interested. I'm part of an astrology collective called Sphere Kairos of 5 really fantastic, great astrologers. And together we're presenting an eclipse workshop on the 13th of September, where we'll be going much deeper, each of us exploring different aspects, turning the jewel, looking at 5 different aspects of eclipses and helping you understand and work out for yourself what this eclipse means for you. The price of admission starts at $22. There'll be a link in the show notes, but also if you sign up to become a paying subscriber, there'll be a discount code that I'll send to you. If you sign up soon, you'll still have time to apply that discount. It is on a sliding scale, so you can pay what you like. And if you want to pay more and you think it's worth more than that, it'll be a 3-hour workshop. And the last hour, we will be delineating your own personal chart. So if you want to share your chart, we'll be going into smaller breakout rooms and looking at your own personal astrology. So each of us astrologers will be leading one group and we'll look at your own astrology and applying what we've covered in the workshop to your own charts to help you understand how the eclipse is showing up for you. So that's worth the price of admission alone. So you're actually getting a mini reading, but for that price, you'll be getting a workshop and the recording of the workshop. You'll be getting the slides and also a workbook, which we've worked on. We drafted the first workbook for the March eclipses, and for this series of eclipses, we are extending it. We're adding new content. So it's going to go much deeper, but also contain some of the content that we added before. So you've got a basic grounding in the Pisces Virgo eclipses, but moving it deeper and adding new information as well. So all in all, we think it's fantastic value. We hope that you do too. So back to the Pisces eclipse. On the 7th of September 2025, at 6:08 p.m. Universal Time, the moon will reach full visibility and brightness at 15 degrees of Pisces, before it's then plunged into sudden shadow and darkness. So this is not an ordinary full moon, but it's a total lunar eclipse. If you like, it's a full moon that's packing a punch. Eclipses can be catalysts for change, and they herald karmic and important beginnings and endings, and they accelerate our storyline. This Pisces eclipse is the second in a rare series of 3 lunar eclipses in Pisces, a sign that has been drawing our attention as planets crossed the boundary this year from Pisces to Aries and then returned, creating a cosmic stitch in the sky. Saturn is the latest planet to perform this dance, returning across the border from the fire of Aries into the otherworldly intuitive waters of mutable Pisces on the 1st of September. The series of 3 lunar eclipses we are experiencing in Pisces highlights a period which invites us into deeper spiritual reflection, surrender, and transformation. The Pisces-Virgo axis invites us to explore themes of service, spirituality, and the balance between the material and the ethereal. We are likely to explore questions and themes such as, how does being of service to others also reward and feed our soul? Are we so spiritual that we are detached from the material world? And if so, how can we ground ourselves in practical earthly matters? How do our dreams impact on our waking life? What links between the two can you see in your life, and how would you like to see them develop and grow? Symbolically, within the zodiac year of the Northern Hemisphere, Pisces season comes at a time at the end of the winter, when the warmth and light of the sun is beginning to take over from the darkness which is losing its grip. We start to enjoy longer days and look forward to spring, but we are in transition. We must prepare for the final release of the end of the entire zodiac cycle before we can be reborn anew with the rebirth that comes with the spring equinox as the sun enters Aries. It is a time to go within, reflect and release, so we travel lightly into the new. The moon is in Pisces while the sun is travelling through Virgo, the sign of the maiden who carries the scythe, reminding us of the loss of innocence and the need for the feminine to own her purpose and feminine powers, while being willing to cut away all that is inauthentic or is outgrown as the maiden prepares for harvest and symbolically to undergo the rite of passage of the transition into adulthood. As the moon is eclipsed in Pisces, its connection with our Earth is temporarily interrupted. Like a computer being switched off and on again, there is a sense of a reset, a death and rebirth much greater than that we experience with the new moons. Themes of surrender, introspection, and connection to the spiritual realm may be intensified. Pisces energy is often flowing and ethereal. Visualize the ocean, sometimes still and sometimes with dramatic high waves crashing, making it more challenging to engage with the material world. This eclipse may stir deep emotional waters, disturbing the silt that is resting on the ocean floor, encouraging us to trust in the unseen and offering the opportunity to reconnect with our higher or deeper selves. For the Pisces eclipse, the symbolic turning off and on again of the moon's reflective light, it could be that something hidden is being drawn up from the depths, from an old or a new story, made visible under the shadowed light of the moon as it is lit up, and symbolically reborn after the light was extinguished. What will surface for you? What has been whispered through dreams, tides, and silences, waiting to come into form? What might be your own rite of passage? Pisces, mutable waters and shifting tides. Pisces is a feminine or yin water sign, making it receptive and inward-focused, fluid and flowing in nature, and deeply connected to the imaginal and spiritual worlds. There is a sense of oneness with all that is here. Its mutable nature makes it adaptable, porous, and gifts it an in-between liminal quality, both able to dissolve boundaries and to move between the realms of spirit and material. Think for a moment of a baby moving through the birth canal, an unstoppable force of creation bringing it from one form into another, the invisible being made visible. In the days before our access to scans, that is, the process can be both confusing, scary, or painful, yet also beautiful and life-affirming. Jupiter rules Pisces. It seeks meaning and faith, bringing wisdom and abundance, while Venus, the exalted ruler of Pisces, lends beauty, compassion, and longing for connection. Its feminine yin quality pulls inward, softening, embracing, listening, and reflective. Opposite the moon in Pisces shines the sun in Virgo, in the home of Mercury, lord of our minds, who is both the domicile and exalted ruler, and currently has unpacked their bags and is supervising all in Virgo. Virgo's careful discernment and attention to detail meets Pisces' dreamlike flow. This eclipse tugs on and highlights the polarity between dream and practical details, spirit and craft, and invites us to consider for ourselves, how do we weave the ineffable into our practical? How might we let spirit flow without losing form? The nature of eclipses. A total lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth passes directly between the Sun and Moon when they are aligned, casting its shadow across the Moon. Unlike normal full moon, where the Sun and Moon are in opposite signs, a lunar eclipse adds the weight of the Earth's shadow, symbolizing supercharged moments of culmination, closure, and revelation. They are catalysts for change, bringing significant and karmic endings, revelations, culminations, and points of no return. What was hidden may surface dramatically, often tied to longer cycles that can help us to identify the themes to expect in our personal lives by looking at the past. More often they are a slow process of unstoppable change. Lunar eclipses highlight the need to release old patterns and beliefs, illuminating what must be let go in order to move forward. They may correspond with emotional and spiritual breakthroughs, bringing unresolved issues to light. Full moon alone is a time of heightened awareness, but during a lunar eclipse, this effect can be amplified and is more likely to have a longer-lasting impact on our lives. We may find that eclipses accelerate events, causing major endings, major beginnings, or shifts that may have been building beneath the surface for some time. Think of tectonic plates imperceptibly shifting, Once they have moved, they cannot return. This is most likely to impact you when the eclipse activates planets in your natal chart. For example, for this Pisces eclipse, if you have natal planets within 12 to 17 degrees of the mutable signs, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. Also, if Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun or Moon is your Lord of the Year or your solar return ascendant ruler. This eclipse is the second in a trio of Pisces lunar eclipses, without any balancing solar eclipse. Normally eclipses come in pairs, but here the moon dominates. This suggests an intensification of the themes of feeling, intuition, our needs for nurturing, and collective tides that outweigh logic or clarity. The moon is speaking more loudly than the sun, drawing our attention, magnifying lunar themes, and possibly holding a message for each of us in the Pisces area of our charts, perhaps asking us to listen to the unconscious, the feminine, and the unseen, the eclipse cycle and moon family, past and future. This lunar eclipse is part of a Saros cycle, a repeating pattern of eclipses that recur approximately every 18 years. The Saros cycle organizes eclipses into families or series that span over 1,000 years. Each series begins with penumbral eclipses at either the north or south poles, then transitions through partial to total eclipses, before eventually ending with another set of penumbral eclipses at the opposite pole. This particular eclipse is number 41 of 71 events in its series 128. This lunar Saros series began in 1304 and is set to end in 2566. This Saros cycle brings a thematic recurrence of events and energies. For this eclipse, we can look back 18 years to see what was occurring in our lives in relation to the Pisces-Virgo axis, as similar themes may re-emerge. This also connects to the nodal reversal cycle, when the north and south nodes were previously in Virgo and Pisces, the opposite of the current nodal placement 9 years ago, echoing back to patterns and lessons from that time. Astrologer Bernadette Brady, in her book Predictive Astrology, The Eagle and the Lark, looks at the astrology of the first eclipse in each Saros series to predict the themes for the series. I look at her predictions more fully in the Asterosphere Kairos Eclipse Workshop on the 13th of September. And again, I've given the details of how you can register to attend in the show notes. She predicts that this eclipse brings to the surface long-term worries about loved ones, health, or responsibilities with paperwork, and it connects with the previous eclipse in 2007. So you may find themes from then that echo again now. In addition to the 18-year Saros cycle, we can also observe shorter lunar cycles for this Pisces new moon, such as the 28-day lunar month. So we would look to 2 weeks ago, the first Virgo new moon, or the 6 months between the Pisces new moon and this full moon. And then we have a much longer cycle, the moon family, bringing Pisces seeds from 2024. Astrologer Dietrich Pessen's moon family concept from Lunar Shadows 3 illustrates how lunations can unfold like a story over more than 2 years. This eclipse belongs to a Pisces moon family that began with the new moon on the 10th of March 2024 at 20 degrees of Pisces, which was when the seed was planted. The first quarter moon on the 8th of December 2024 at 17 degrees of Pisces would have been when there was some action, a challenge or a growth, some kind of pivot point. Then this full moon on the 7th of September brings some revelation, illumination or culmination. And then we can look ahead to the 8th of June 2026 at 17 degrees of Pisces, where there will be some integration, review and release. Decisions will need to be made on what to carry forward into the next cycle and in what form. If you have planets or angles, that's your ascendant, MC, ascendant or IC, near these degrees, that's 13 to 22 degrees of the mutable signs, which is Pisces, Gemini, Virgo and Sagittarius, and also the water signs, Pisces, Cancer and Scorpio, you may feel this cycle unfolding in deeply personal ways. Pisces lunations may often stir dreams, creativity, sacrifice and spiritual longings. Something seeded last March is now preparing to surface with power and visibility. And this may also apply if Mercury, Jupiter, the Sun or Moon is your Lord of the Year or your solar return ascendant ruler. Do you know what house Pisces and Virgo are in for your natal or birth chart? This will tell you more about what themes might arise. For example, if it's your first house, it will be all about yourself, your body, your image, and your health. If it's your fourth house, it will be more personal and private matters of home, ancestry, and if it's your seventh house about your relationship, it'll be more related to other people in your life that you have a close relationship with. And if it's your 10th house, it would be about your career and how you're seen out in the world. So if you know which houses Pisces and Virgo are in, you're better able to identify what themes will blend with the Pisces and Virgo significations. Personally, for you, you can book a reading with me to find out more, or with an astrologer or astro coach to explore this further. I have YouTube videos you can watch to learn how to cast a chart and to identify the houses, and you will find the links to those. So you can identify and highlight what themes to expect. And also my Astro Coaching workbook is available, which will help you work with and co-create with the lunations. You can either purchase it at a very low cost of £4 or download it for free when you upgrade your subscription to paid and financially support my work. The Deccan of Pisces too, the Net of Dreams. This eclipse falls in the second Deccan of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter and the Moon. Here we might find blessings as expansive faith and receptive imagination intertwine with the greater benefic Jupiter ruling the sign of Pisces as well as the Deccan to intensify its influence. We enjoy spiritual and material abundance here, with themes of success, wealth, and pleasure, and the moon looks to ensure our needs are met. Austin Coppock names it the net, a web of wishes, prayers, and dreams, which can catch both blessings and illusions as the invisible finds form. He notes that here we attempt to reconcile our understanding of the true nature of reality with the world as it is. It is thus a phase of finding harmony with apparent reality of things while living and embodying one's ideals. The challenge is to successfully bridge the two worlds and reach the available abundance. Kira Ryberg calls it contentment, finding ease in the catch, the harvest of faith. She writes that the pursuit of high and great matters in a philosophical sense is possible when all material needs are met, and there is time, energy, and space for the mind to roam, ponder, and ruminate on the bigger why questions of life. The Wild Way Oracle is named Wish Fulfillment. The card shows the happy minke whale, full after a successful day's dive. Their wishes fulfilled. We are given the keywords: making the invisible visible, meaningful activity, and happiness. Like the whale surfacing with his catch, what has been dreamed of is now surfacing. The guidebook advises us Minke Whale has just scooped up his biggest catch of the day. His fishy wishes have come true. Now his dream of a full stomach has been fulfilled. He has made the invisible desire visible reality. What do you dream of bringing to fruition? What steps do you need to take to make it happen? Though some work may be required to get there, like our charming cetacean friend, you will probably enjoy the process as much as the end result. What invisible thread have you been weaving? What wish is ripening into visibility? And what work might you need to do? Tarot. The Nine of Cups, finding happiness. The Nine of Cups mirrors the themes of this Deccan. A well-fed, richly dressed man sits looking content before 9 golden cups. They might be symbols of emotional satisfaction, pleasure, and attainment. It is sometimes called the wish card, symbolizing the moment when desire becomes reality, bridging those two realms of spirit and matter. Yet in our happiness it carries a caution. We might reflect on whether we are content because we are truly fulfilled, or only because the table is temporarily full. This card invites us to express both gratitude and discernment, and maybe ask ourselves, which wishes bring lasting nourishment and which dissolve like water in the hand? T. Susan Chang advises that here we must embrace surprise over expectation and embrace happiness by appreciating the unexpected. Dreaming the Decans, cast your spell. Susan Chang in Dreaming the Decans gives voice to Pisces too with a magical, entrancing verse. When dropped into a magic well, a prayer becomes a kind of spell. All the faith I dare to feel, taking form within the real. The line I cast, the web I weave, foundation of all I receive. All things change. May fortune bless my world with health and happiness. Fate never ceases to evolve. Into pure joy we all dissolve. This is the heart of the Deccan, where we find Jupiterian faith woven into reality, invisible desires finding form. It is the net of wishes catching something solid. The astrological conversation. The sky around this eclipse deepens its themes and offers us nuance. Moon is with the North Node in Pisces, joined by Saturn, revisiting Pisces one final time before leaving for Aries in 2026. Saturn adds gravity and reminds us that dreams must be worthy and stand the test of time. What is surfacing may be an old story for release, may carry weight, responsibility, or even endings. The North Node represents an area of hunger for increase that we might never satisfy. Moon will soon be in an exact trine to its ruler Jupiter in Cancer, amplifying watery themes, faith, family, and emotional bonds, and ensuring the moon is fully resourced. Yet it is averse to Venus, meaning it cannot see the rays of light that Venus casts. Venus is Pisces' exaltation ruler, suggesting beauty, creativity, and ease may not be visible or accessible just yet. The Sun in Virgo shines close to combust Mercury. Normally combust Mercury would be weakened, but here and at home he is said to be in his chariot, meaning shielded, clever, and protected, travelling along with the Sun and not harmed by the intensity of the Sun's hot beams. Insights may arise in unexpected ways through problem-solving, details, or focus on craft. The Sun also sextiles Jupiter, creating a bridge of support and potential for opportunities to reach both luminaries. Uranus in Gemini forms a whole sign tense square to both luminaries, creating a T-square. This holds memories of the intensity of the exact square for the previous Virgo new moon 2 weeks ago. But things have moved on now, and this is the aftershocks. There may still be disruption, shocks, or sudden awakenings that what we thought we had caught may wriggle free, or a surprise catch may arrive instead. Journal prompts. What dream or wish from early 2024 is now surfacing more visibly in your life? Where are you seeking wish fulfillment? And does it truly nourish you? How can you balance Virgo's need for order with Pisces' need for flow? What invisible prayers have you cast into the world, which are ready to become real? How are you being asked to take responsibility for your dreams? Saturn in Pisces. Astro Coaching Insight. This eclipse asks you to consider, what are you making visible? Pisces dreams are beautiful, but without Virgo's grounding they can dissolve and be washed away by the ocean. Saturn's weight offers to cast an elder's experienced eye, giving advice to help ensure that only what is real endures. Coaching yourself through this time means choosing to actively participate in your wish fulfillment. You might do this by taking small, grounded steps to give form to your prayers and dreams. Look at the barriers and blocks. What have you overcome before? What is realistically possible for you? Which is the path of least resistance? Look at who and what supports you. Then note down 3 possible steps forward and try taking one. If it doesn't work out, review why not and consider taking one of the others. If it does, make a note of what worked and why. Then see if you can identify 3 next steps. Move forward 1 step at a time. Don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed by the big picture. Pisces can get lost in the huge expanse of the ocean. Virgo can organize and sort the practical matters. Allow the Virgo to plan the steps and Pisces to offer the dream. Ritual suggestion. It is usually best to avoid rituals around the time of eclipses, as the energy we invite in can be unpredictable. Personally, I prefer to take a long soak in a salt bath with candles while I reflect on the stories and meanings of the eclipse. If you want to keep to your ritual practice, I suggest keeping it simple. For example, this water ritual. Fill a bowl with clear water. Place it where moonlight, or candlelight if cloudy, can reflect upon it. Write one wish, prayer, or dream you wish to bring into form. Place your paper beneath the bowl. Be aware that you will need to surrender to any surprising or unpredictable energy that the eclipse holds if you decide to proceed with this ritual. Bear this in mind when choosing what you are inviting in. My advice is keep it simple and for your highest good, or for the good of those around you. Sit quietly and watch the reflections ripple. Speak your intention aloud once more. Leave the water and your paper in the moonlight overnight. In the morning, pour the water back into the earth, returning the prayer to the cycle of life. Keep the paper on your altar or in your journal as a reminder of your unfolding work. And finally, The Pisces lunar eclipse offers a powerful opportunity for reflection, release, and transformation. As the moon's reflective light is shadowed in the mystical, renewing waters of Pisces, we are encouraged to surrender to the cycles of change, honor with gratitude the endings in our lives, and trust in the process of renewal. This eclipse invites us to connect deeply with our spiritual self, however that looks for you, to meditate on what we are ready to release, to embrace and allow the flow of life with compassion and grace. As the second in a series of Pisces eclipses that began in 2024 and will continue to 2026, this eclipse is the midpoint of a longer journey of spiritual awakening and surrender. You might view this as an opportunity to reassess or more clearly recognize the themes you have been working with since 2024. When we tap into the intuitive, flowing energy of Pisces, we can find the strength to navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. This eclipse in Pisces has asked you the burning question, what invisible desire am I ready to make visible? It is the net cast wide, the prayer taking form, the dream ripening into visibility while we hold the faith. Saturn asks us to be responsible for what we wish for, and Uranus warns us that the catch may yet surprise us. Remember that T. Susan Chang encourages us to embrace the surprise over expectation for the Nine of Cups. Eclipses are a time to surrender and trust. We can best use this time when we notice the omens and symbols around us as the universe intensifies communication. Keep any rituals very simple and be intentional about what you are inviting in, as eclipse energy is notoriously unpredictable. Build your foundations wisely. From T. Susan Chang, the line I cast, the web I weave, foundation of all I receive. Travel well, friends.